watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, January 21st. In our top story, following a 14-hour ban, the popular social media app TikTok is back on in the United States, and News 25 reporter Rory Russell has those details into the app's next 90 days.
TikTok has restored access for American users after a brief 14-hour shutdown, crediting President Donald Trump for intervening a delay on the potential ban of the app. The popular social media platform had temporarily suspended service in the U.S. due to an impending law that required its China-based parent company, ByteDance, to sell its U.S. operations or face a ban. We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties for providing TikTok, the company said in a statement on Sunday. We will work with President Trump on a long-term solution that keeps TikTok in the United States. Trump had also told NBC News that he was most likely to delay the ban for 90 days once he took office. That plan he later confirmed in a post on Truth Social. Trump suggested on Sunday at a victory rally that an American buyer should purchase half of TikTok, potentially creating a 50-50 joint venture between a U.S. company and ByteDance.
And as of today, TikTok is back. So I said very simply, a joint venture. So if TikTok is worth nothing, zero, without an approval, if you don't approve, they're out of business, they're worth nothing. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. They're worth some crazy number. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. So they'll have a partner, the United States, and they'll have a lot of bidders, and the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So, I don't know, it sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? I think so. So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
However, it remains unclear how that proposal will meet the approval of lawmakers, including members of Trump's own party who are increasingly wary of Chinese influence in the tech sector.
So, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old. And we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? And we went on TikTok, and Republicans have never won the young vote, the youth vote. They win a lot of votes, but they never won the youth vote. We won the youth vote by 36 points. So I like TikTok. I like it.
We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to resignate TikTok once he takes office. TikTok posted in a pop-up message that users saw on late Sunday when the app was made unavailable. Later, when the app was made re-available, users saw another pop-up saying, "Welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support." As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. Though despite the temporary reprieve, TikTok's future in the U.S. still remains uncertain. As TikTok continues to navigate its uncertain landscape, all eyes will be on the incoming administration's next step, as well as the broader legal and political battles over the app's future in the United States.
Turning back now to local and area news, Tupac Shakur's murder suspect, Dwan Davis, loses a bid to dismiss the case, and his trial will begin later this year.
A Clark County judge has denied a motion to dismiss the murder case against Dwan Davis, accused of involvement in the 1996 fatal shooting up to Pak Shakur. Judge Carly Kearney rejected the motion filed by Davis's defense attorney, Carl Arnold, during a brief hearing on Tuesday. Arnold argued that the decades-long delay in prosecuting Davis was in bad faith, violating his client's constitutional rights. He also claimed that the case conflicted with immunity agreements Davis allegedly had with law enforcement. In response, the Clark County District Attorney's Office stated that law enforcement relied on Davis's recent confessions to pursue the case. Prosecutors further noted that Davis failed to provide evidence of any immunity agreement. They added that even if such an agreement existed, it would not offer protection for local charges as no immunity has been granted by a Nevada state court. Dwan's trial is scheduled to begin on March 17th, 2025.
Turning now to our neighboring state as the fires in Southern California unfortunately continue to burn. News 25 has the latest look into that death toll, containment, and the latest political update regarding these blazes.
The Palisades Fire, one of the most active wildfires in California, is currently 59% contained, but authorities are on high alert as extreme winds are forecasted to worsen the conditions. The fire, which broke out in Southern California's Santa Monica Mountains, has already scorched thousands of acres and has displaced over 3,000 residents. Fire crews are facing a renewed threat of gusts up to 50 miles an hour, which is expected across the region. The National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning in large portions of Southern California, citing that the combination of high winds and low humidity creates an ideal condition for fire behavior. The warning is expected to remain in effect for several days as fire officials monitor the evolving situation closely. The containment of the Eaton fire has raised to 81%, however, the death toll linked to the fire has risen to 17, according to the LA County Medical Examiner's Office. As of Thursday morning, January 16th, sheriff officials have reported that 24 people remain missing in the fire-affected areas. The fire has consumed 14,117 acres, and authorities are currently assessing the extent of the damage to homes and businesses. To date, approximately 9,400 structures have been destroyed and over 1,000 others sustained damage. The state of California is already experiencing critical shortages of resources, with neighboring states sending additional firefighting teams to assist in the containment efforts. These fires have also become a point of discussion in the political realm. On January 20th, 2025, President Donald Trump addressed the situation during his inauguration speech, emphasizing the need for national efforts to combat wildfires. His comments highlighted the increasing urgency surrounding the wildfires as they continue to devastate communities, damage infrastructure, and pose potential risks on both human lives and wildlife habitats. In the meantime, local authorities are urging residents in the affected areas to follow evacuation orders and remain cautious as the fire threats continue. CAL FIRE and other emergency services are currently working around the clock to control the fire and minimize its impact in the surrounding communities.
Don't grab that remote. News 25 has much more local and national news after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, much has happened in Washington, D.C. since the swearing-in ceremonies of, once again, President Donald Trump and now Vice President J.D. Vance. So our News 25 Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers is joining us with an update.
In true Trump form, the 45th and 47th President of the United States has been back at it, legalizing many of his initiatives upon his return to the White House within the past 2 days, mirroring what he pledged during campaign season. Let's take a look at recent political moves by the fresh Commander-in-Chief and Second Commander-in-Chief.
Revoking nearly 80 destructive, radical executive actions of the previous administration, they'll all be null and void within about, 5 minutes? Is that them over there? 5 minutes?
The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
The double president got down to business on day one, ratifying numerous executive orders that do not require congressional approval.
Lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
After ousting 80 executive actions by Joe Biden, DJT ceremoniously tossed out his presidential pens.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, huh?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Wait. Don't they leave it on the desk? I don't know. Oh!
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found this. Wow. Thank you.
Wasting no time, President Trump addressed the nation at halftime during this year's college football playoff national championship game.
We will have a nation filled with compassion, strength, and exceptionalism. Through our power and might, we will stop wars and we will lead the world to peace. We will be respected again and we will be admired again, admired like we haven't been in many, many years. We'll put America first, and by doing so, we're going to make America great again. In less than 3 months since the election, you have already seen it happening. You can feel the excitement and you can see the confidence and spirit returning to our nation. Together, we're going to lead our country to glorious new heights. The golden age of America has just begun.
Reporting from Clark County and shooting it back over the hump to the sunny desert oasis of Pahrump with coverage in both counties, I'm Maria Centers for News 25 Las Vegas.
And there's lots of action happening out there in the NFL playoffs. Here's Mikey Ruhan with a deeper look in today's sports report.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights took it to a shootout last night in St. Louis. They lost 5-4. That's a 4-game losing streak. Next up for the Golden Knights, they play the Blues again in Vegas on Thursday. UNLV has finished number 23 in the final Associated Press Top 25 poll released on Tuesday. It's the Rebels' first time appearing in the season-ending AP Top 25 in school history. Members of UNLV's Rebel Girls and Company dance team are once again national champions, competing over the weekend at the Universal Dance Association's College National Championships in Orlando, Florida. The UNLV's co-ed dance team took home first place in 2 of 3 categories, in which it competed in game day and hip-hop. And Pahrump Valley Trojans boys and girls basketball are both at home this evening. They're taking on Coral Academy. Girls varsity are in progress, and boys at 6:30. And that's your look. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
What would you do if you hit a downed power line? Tips and some safety info for you from VEA when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, do you know what to do if you're involved in a power pole collision? Well, here's Valley Electric Association with some very helpful information if you ever find yourself in that kind of situation.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
There's no way around it. Accidents happen. Would you know what to do if your vehicle crashed into an electric utility pole? While it may seem far-fetched, Every year, tens of thousands of accidents occur when utility poles are struck by vehicles and other large equipment. Let's review what you should and should not do if you find yourself in this situation. The safest place for passengers after a collision with the utility pole is inside the vehicle, which acts as a path for the electrical current to reach the ground. You are safe inside the vehicle, but if you get out, you could be electrocuted. If your car hits a utility pole and brings down a power line, stay in your vehicle and wait until help arrives and power lines have been de-energized. Call 911 for emergency assistance. You should only exit the vehicle if a fire occurs, which is rare. If this happens, jump out and away from the vehicle, making sure no part of your body or clothing touches the ground and the vehicle at the same time. Land with both feet together and in small, shuffling steps, move at least 40 feet away from the vehicle to safety. The ground could be energized, so by keeping your feet together and shuffling away, you decrease the chance of electrical current entering your body through one foot and out the other. It's also worth noting what to do if you witness an accident involving down power lines. If you see an accident like this, remain in your vehicle. Remember, the ground could be energized. Call 911 to ensure help is on the way. When a collision with the utility pole occurs, most people are not thinking about electricity, but knowing what to do and what not to do could be the difference between life or death. We hope you never find yourself in this situation, but if you do, remember these safety tips to avoid electrocution. For more electrical safety tips and information, contact your local electric utility.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside at this picturesque view through our Lerner & Rowe weather cam. We see the mountains surrounding Pahrump and not a cloud in the sky in that direction, but it is cold. We're in a cold snap about 10 degrees below our normal temps.
Good evening, Nevada. I'm Kaylee Bentler in the News 25 Weather Studios. Let's check out our regional weather. Up in Fernley, we saw 49, 48 in Fallon, 53 Carson City, 47 Tonopah, 50 in Goldfield, 56-degree weather twins for Beatty and Amargosa, 50 in Las Vegas, and 64 in Death Valley. But over in our paradise of Pahrump, we're seeing clear skies at 48 degrees. We had a high of 54 earlier. Wind southeast 3 miles per hour, humidity 10%, and the sun rose at 6:51. We watched it go away just a little bit ago at 4:59 p.m. Expect humidity at 16%, winds east-northeast 4 miles per hour with a low of 28, and the skies are staying clear. Let's check out the rest of our week. Tomorrow we're seeing clear skies at 66 degrees. And the sunshine sticks around, but coming up to our weekend, we're seeing scattered clouds roll in on Friday, 62 degrees. We have about a 60% chance of rain on Saturday. We got heavy clouds at 58 degrees, and those clouds kind of dissipate come Sunday, 51. We're staying in the lower to mid 50s for Monday and Tuesday. Clear skies. And that is your look at the weather. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, Kaylee, and it's nice to see you back even though you were under the weather, pun intended. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.